One of the biggest challenges I think most businesses who bring their business online have is staying focused on their own brand. I recently had a call with a client, and as we began talking about strategy, she shared with me how she had gotten so disheveled and lost her way, if you would, watching other people, listening to other people's opinions, even some coaches prior to her time with me, that just caused her to lose her own way. And after we ended the call, that part stuck with me. So, a central part of what I do with businesses and brands is help them to build from within, not what's going on outside of them. Now, of course, there are tried and true measures of success, things that just work. But I personally have found in my own business and in the hundreds of women I've had an opportunity to share strategy with and technique, the best, most fulfilling businesses have been those that were able to stay as authentic to their own path as they could. I can even look back within my own brand once I brought my brand online. So I owned a brick and mortar service based business for a decade prior to coaching and consulting. And I opened my coaching and consulting business prior to bringing it online in 2012 is when I opened it. And so I had an opportunity to experience what building my business, my both businesses, but specifically my coaching and consulting business because I brought that online. But I had the opportunity of experiencing building that without all of the stimulation of the online space. And for as much as I've stayed centered on Renew Full Circle Consulting, the brand, I can definitely pinpoint times where I swayed and had to shift, back to my own reality. Now, because I have vision, I feel that when those times happen, I didn't swivel all the way off as many people unfortunately do because of what's transpiring in the online space, but I do understand what happens. And I always encourage my clients, let's build this from within. I have clients who've been in business for 30 years who did exceptionally well prior to coming online. And it's not because they get online and they don't know how to market. It's just so much going on. There are so many voices, there are so many suggestions. And when I'm on threads, one of the things I share when someone maybe shares how they wish people would stop telling people certain things, I always share that people must remember that every coach that you see online is not your coach. If you haven't invested to work with them and they haven't had an opportunity to thoroughly look at your business and make customized suggestions, they are speaking a blanket statement. And if they are successful coaches, they aren't even talking to everyone. Their message is for a specific individual type of client. And it's so important if you're going to take the advice of a coach that you at least have invested in some way where she actually has eyes on your business and your brand, because if not, it is a blanket statement, and it is also specifically for a specific type of individual. This share on this 100 days of exceptional is simply to encourage you and challenge you to stay focused, to keep your eyes on your own paper, right? And find your center. You know, one of the things that I do foundationally with clients is, really help them clarify their values, because your values become this thing that you can sift everything else through. There's so many people building businesses they don't love. I listened to a young lady today share her story of going of reaching, six figures in her business about 5 years ago. This was a person on YouTube that I was listening to as I was taking my walk this evening. And I don't even remember her name. The title caught me, and I was like, oh, okay, this will be a great listen while I'm walking. But she talked about how she lost everything, and she was traveling and, buying all the things and living in her high rise apartment, all the things. And that wasn't the case for her anymore. But what she shared that stood out for me, because that does happen, right? Um, it is a reality, especially since 2020, when everyone was becoming a coach or opening a business, because there was more money flowing through the economy and people were home and not working, and it was an opportunity for them to tap into something they may have thought about before. And so many of those who did really well in 2020 are no longer in business. And there's so many reasons I could go into as to what I think the reasons are and statistically what they are, but I do know that having a vision is so important, a vision of your own, so that when you're receiving advice, it can sift through your vision and your values. That's my take on today, challenging you during this 100 days to exceptional to get really focused on your own thing and keep your eyes on your own paper. I'm Tanya Wilson, Master Life, business coach, business consultant, mindset coach, your growth strategist, helping women just like you step into their personal power, scale their business, and create lifestyles they love. If you're looking for added support and you really want to build a business from within, it's what I call the 3D brand. I have that was probably around day 4 or 5. I talked about what a 3D brand is. You can go back and reference that video and see if it resonates with you, and if that's the type of business and brand you want to build, regardless of how long you've been doing this. If you need to renew your brand and you're looking for support, I'd love to support you. You can go to renewfullcircle.com. Renewfullcircle.com. There's 3 or 4 little lines in the right hand side that you can click. It'll show you ways to work with me. You can scroll down the page. You can find um, what's happening now in the Renew community, and also a way to schedule a complimentary clarity call that will allow you to hop on a call with me and gain clarity on what the best way is for me to support you based on where you are in your business. That's my take. Keep your eyes on your own paper.